Former Mayor of the Midvaal Municipality Bongani Baloyi has announced that he's joining the MK Party and deregistering his Xiluva Party. Baloyi made the announcement in Soweto today. The move follows a poor showing by the Xiluva Party in the May elections. Baloyi, who has moved from the Democratic Alliance to ActionSA before forming Xiluva, follows EFF Deputy President Floyd Shivambo and SARA's Colleen Makhubele to the country's third largest party. The former Xiluva leader, Bongani Baloyi, joins us this afternoon to discuss this further. Good afternoon, Mr. Baloyi. Thank you very much for joining us on The Full View. I must say, when reports surfaced earlier this week that you could be joining the MK Party, some weren't so sure you were moving, and this is purely because they couldn't necessarily see the similarities between your political socialization and that of some MK Party members. I mean, you're from the Democratic Alliance, a party that advocates for a more liberal constitutional democracy. You then went to ActionSA. Some could say there are some similarities there. So what exactly drew you to Umkhonto Sizwe Party?
Well, thank you for the interview. Following the 2024 general elections, we sat with the leadership collective of Xiluva to analyze these election results and what it could mean for the party. And the decision we took was to scan the environment and due diligence on the material environment, because what was very clear was that the material environment of our politics had fundamentally changed with the emergence of Umkhonto Sizwe Party. So as we did our due diligence, we found what we've been suspecting all along, that our strategic thrust and focus and reason for existence is the same with Umkhonto Sizwe Party. And we firmly believe that it was incumbent for us to be able to respond positively to the calls made by His Excellency President Jacob Zuma for us to consolidate and be able to work towards furthering an agenda that brings about the full and the liberation and emancipation of Black people. So this is the process we followed that led to us as a collective taking the decision to deregister Xiluva with the IEC, and subsequently all of us, the leadership collective, would join Umkhonto Sizwe and also encourage our members and voters to also join Umkhonto Sizwe Party. This is the process we underwent through, and we fundamentally believe that Umkhonto Sizwe has the legitimacy to be able to lead a project for consolidation and consolidating forces on the left and progressive forces, which is where Xiluva found itself. So I think that for the socialization of the Democratic Alliance, I was at pains to explain when we're at Xiluva what is fundamentally different and why Ubuntu is a political ideology. So if you consider all of those things that are recorded, you will realize that actually, if you listen carefully to what we're saying, it resonates 100% with Umkhonto Sizwe Party.
I want us to be a bit more granular here. When you say you scanned or looked closely at the material conditions post the elections and you saw that there were actually similarities between Umkhonto Sizwe and Xiluva, just talk us through those similarities, if we just had to be a little more granular.
Fantastic. So we are proponents, those who are adding our voice to people who are saying, my apologies, call came in to disrupt us. Sorry, can you hear me? So we fundamentally believe in the parliament sovereignty as opposed to the current constitutional democracy. And Umkhonto Sizwe believes in the same. We fundamentally believe that Amakhosi and royal traditional houses should play a bigger role in our governance and democracy. Umkhonto Sizwe believes that as well. We believe in conscription for young people. Umkhonto Sizwe believes in conscription of young people. And we fundamentally believe that the land should be returned back to the original inhabitants of the people, and also the custodians being Amakhosi, and they believe in a similar thing as well. But most importantly, if you look at even just the symbolism and how they've gone about calling the party Umkhonto Sizwe, and what Umkhonto is versus what Ubuntu is, it's really speaking to the essence as a Black people. And these are just a few of the points we found that actually we are saying one and the same thing. Not just in the strategic thrust, but actually in the symbolism, we are one.
What of those who are still unconvinced, saying that perhaps here you were seeking greener pastures beyond your poor showing in May, that there was no deeper reason or very principled position that you took? It really was merely that there was a poor showing and you sought greener pastures?
Well, people are inclined to believe what they may believe, and we've advanced our reasons today as to the process we followed. And it's not a Bongani Baloyi thing. it's a collective leadership decision that has resulted in where we are. Not just Bongani Baloyi who dissolves the party and walks away, but a collective decision with the collective of the party who decided that this is the best route for us to take. And those who are not convinced, I mean, people have a freedom of association in the country. And if they believe otherwise, then they are more than welcome to pursue their agencies elsewhere when we pursue it in the manner that we see fit. Because ultimately, for us, the true judge is not what people think, but what posterity will think of us when they reflect back on the actions and decisions we took, and whether ultimately led to the full liberation and emancipation of Black people. That for us is the main point, and that is actually our reason for existing and why we continue in politics, to liberate our people.
So, Mr. Baloyi, beyond your assessment and decision that you took as the executive of Xiluva, did you then approach the leadership of the MK party? How did that conversation go about?
Well, we did our own assessment. Subsequent to doing our assessment, we approached Umkhonto Xiluva Party to lead a conversation with them. That happens. My apologies, calls keep interrupting us. So we approached Umkhonto Xiluva Party to have a conversation with them, and it is out of the outcome of the conversation we had with them that we reached this conclusion.
And then just in closing, Mr. Baloyi, when you left ActionSA, you had raised concerns around the centralization of power, that here you were of the view that power was being centralized with one leader being Herman Mashaba, and that you were somebody that believed it needed to be decentralized into the regions. Are you convinced that by joining the MK party, this is what you're going to see, a decentralization of power?
Umkhonto Xiluva Party is under 9 months at this stage. And I really think that there's room for growth, and I really appreciate the steps that the leadership have taken to ensure that Umkhonto Xiluva stabilizes, and that they actually invite competent and capable leadership to be able to contribute. So I really think that they need to be given the space to be able to build the institution and to ensure that it's an institution that can reflect the aspirations of our people, and also ensure that it's a strong institution that can protect itself from infiltration, but actually lead itself towards stabilization. Because we've seen with new political parties that initially from the inception, you have a lot of destabilization and infiltration. So I think the leadership must take all steps available for them to protect themselves against that.
All right, Mr. Baloyi, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. That was former Xiluva Party Leader and now MK member Bongani Baloyi speaking to us.